Hey there, what's up? My name is Josh. I work as an educator trying to help people manage their relationship with devices better. So I was a gamer, a hardcore gamer, when I was about your age. Back then it was a game called Counter-Strike that had just come out. Counter-Strike's still around, but it's not that widely played. Obviously Fortnite and Apex, those are the big ones right now. And listen, I'm not going to try and convince you that I know your world of gaming, because I definitely don't. But what I do know is that it took me a long time to repair my brain because of the damage I did to it when I was your age. So what's going on in your brain right now is that your brain is really prioritizing the actions that you are habitually taking. So if you're spending a lot of time trying to learn to play guitar, your brain will focus on developing the sensory nerve endings in your fingers and your ability to hear sound so that you can become a real master on that instrument. And the danger of spending too much time gaming is that it really overdevelops certain parts of your brains and leaves other parts quite underdeveloped. And that can be problematic as you become an adult and you're going to need all of your brain to start providing for yourself, right? Because when you leave home, you're going to have to pay your own bills, you're going to have to pay for your own food, your own shelter, your car, maybe all of the things that you currently enjoy. If you're watching this on a laptop or a phone, you're going to need to pay for that too. And paying for those things requires that you work, and working requires that you have certain skills. So when you game excessively, and I'm not going to tell you what is excessive, you need to really think about that yourself. And please don't take the advice of a professional gamer. I'm not a professional gamer, but don't take the advice of someone who isn't qualified to give you that advice. I think you should just think about it yourselves and talk to your parents. But the point is that when you spend too much time gaming, let's take Fortnite for example, you are really stimulating your hormonal system in your brain, your midbrain. And what that does is that it overdevelops your sensitivity to certain stimulus. So in young children, you can see this, that if you just bring an iPhone near them, they already start getting excited because they have so many hormonal attachments to that device. So in your context, you are developing the ability to move fast twitch movements and very strategic thinking in the moment, but it doesn't have a context of the kind of way in which the world works. And so not only are you flooding your system with very high levels of dopamine and adrenaline because it's a survival-based game, which is diminishing your ability to think rationally, cognitively, and control your emotions. You might find that you might see Ninja losing it when he messes up a match, especially the earlier videos where he said things that he probably shouldn't have because he didn't have big sponsors. But these players, you can see they get really emotional when they're playing, and that's because so much of their brain is focused on the small task of putting the crosshair in the right place, and at the same time they're really stimulating the hormonal system in their brain. So that's the one thing, is that you kind of overstimulate that hormonal system in your brain. The other one is that, and I know a lot of teenagers these days are using Fortnite as like a social platform where you play and you talk together. The only challenge that I have with this is that because you're so focused on the game itself, you're not really thinking about what you say. And that's great. You don't always need to think really carefully about what you say. But it's building the habit of not being focused on what you're saying and the impact that that's having on people around you. Because you're playing Fortnite, you're not seeing your friends' faces, you're not noticing if the way that you said that thing was kind or unkind. And that can really confuse your ability to communicate and develop empathy and develop your communication skills, which you'll need once you leave home and start your working life. Another component of excessive gaming that I think is very damaging is that, Epic Games, the company that creates Fortnite and these other games that you love, their interest is that you play the game. And so they want it to be very engaging. They want to reward you. And so they do a couple of things to manipulate you. Just like when you crack open a chest and you don't know what items you're going to get, you have a sense of anticipation. And that anticipation is exactly the same neural network or pathway in your brain, reward pathway, that keeps people addicted to gambling, where they pull the slot machine and they don't know what's going to happen. So games like Fortnite and others use this what's going to happen instinct that we have to keep you locked into the game. And another way in which I'm concerned about it is that the whole idea of work, right, and grit. I don't know if you've heard the term grit, but grit is basically your ability to push through something, to persevere. It's what gets you from week 1 of your school to saying, I'm going to get an A in the subject, and then you put in the hard yards, you study, you don't go and hang out with your friends when they're socializing, and you study hard, and then you get that A. That's grit. That's pushing through. It's persevering. And what you have to understand is that the games that you're playing don't really help you develop grit. I know you might think that, yes, you took 400 attempts to finish a certain level or defeat a certain boss or get a certain item, but it doesn't translate into the kind of perseverance that you're going to need as a young adult. And so when you play these games, you have to know that they're designed to make you feel good. They're designed to make you think that you're advancing very quickly. They're designed to make you think that you are better perhaps than you are. And so that's just a few ideas. If you are interested in learning more, please check out our YouTube channel or pop me an email. I'll put my details below. And I really want to know from you as a teenager, why do you think you should be allowed to game? What do you think the limits should be? What are you concerned about with your friends? I'd love to get your point of view on this and not just have your parents' point of view. I'd love to know what I can tell your parents that will help them understand why gaming is so important for you. Please be careful with the games that you're playing, the times that you're playing them, and please just take care of your body. I know you might not think it, but how you treat yourself in the next 6 or so years will really set up the theme for where your life is going. Okay, I've said enough. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Cheers.